House Committee on Education will come to order. Members, please take your seats. Clerk shall open the roll. Clerk shall close the roll. Okay, we'll begin with a few administrative matters as the members are trickling in. Good morning, everyone. We have several bills to be incorporated. We'll just take those all up together. House Bill 53 to be incorporated into House Bill 894, House Bill 624 to be incorporated into House Bill 1301, House Bill 780, House Bill 939, House Bill 1069, all to be incorporated into House Bill 1385, House Bill 912 to be incorporated into 836. Do I have a motion on the incorporation of those bills? Second. Motion made and properly seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, that motion carries. Next, we have a block of bills to be continued under Rule 22 onto the 2027 session. House Bill 1023, House Bill 1193, House Bill 1195, House Bill 1331, and House Bill 1473. Do I have a motion to continue those bills? Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, those bills are continued on to the 2027 session. We will begin with first a House Bill 1374 from Delegate Figgins. Good morning. Welcome, Delegate.
Good morning, Chair and members of the committee. I have a substitute.
Substitute is now going to be posted online. Motion has been made and properly seconded to adopt the substitute. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, the substitute is adopted. Delegate, good morning.
Good morning, and I'll quickly explain the substitute. The substitute removes mentions of VSU and focuses on the Board of Visitors and Governance. Thank you for the opportunity to present House Bill 1374. Let's begin first with Virginia State University. Virginia State University is a strong public institution with demonstrated governance capacity and academic credibility. It holds a R2 research designation, placing it among a limited number of HBCUs nationwide with a level research activity. It offers undergraduate, graduate, and doctoral programs across STEM, business, agriculture, education, and public administration. It maintains stable accreditation, operates a respected Army ROTC program, and has continued to demonstrate responsible fiscal stewardship through major capital projects and significant private investment. Recently, I visited Virginia Military Institute, and I want to thank the superintendent, faculty, staff, and cadets for engaging in an open and candid dialogue over the past several weeks, and especially this past weekend. I appreciate the professionalism I saw on post and the commitment to strengthening the Institute. Spending time with the cadets, it reminded me of my own service as a military training instructor at the U.S. Air Force School of Aerospace Medicine, where I taught medical field training. There's something unique about military and training environment, the discipline, the preparedness, and the pride that you see in young men and women preparing to serve. I saw that same energy at VMI, and I enjoyed seeing the focus and the purpose on their faces as reinforce how important these environments are to our leadership development. VMI has made great strides over the past 4 years. Their leadership acknowledges that the troubling findings that was identified in 2021 and has committed to continued improvement. Those efforts matter, and we appreciate the conversations, but there is still much work to be done, particularly in terms of how the Institute memorializes those who help shepherd and elevates the hidden figures who are not named in VMI's history. Those are ways that we can continue to help by elevating those who have helped push VMI to be a better place and not to continue the recognition of those Confederate ghosts of the past. VMI must continue to push forward in those areas and ensure that its direction is not steered away by powerful vocal groups resistant to continued progress. We have received commitments from VMI's leadership that progress will continue, and we will remain engaged to ensure that there's no fall off in the proposed improvements. This bill has always been about governance. It's about whether the Board of Visitors structure aligns in a way to maximize what is needed at VMI today. When you look across Virginia, alumni representation varies widely on Board of Visitors. At University of Virginia, alumni makeup is a very large part of the board, the same as at Radford. On the other end, institutions like Virginia Commonwealth University and Old Dominion University operate effectively with significant lower alumni representation on their boards. The substitute before you places VMI in a balanced and comfortable middle position, consistent with peer institutions across the Commonwealth, while keeping the total board size the same. Once again, the total number of board members does not change, only the maximum number of alumni on the board. To ensure those serving on the board in the future will have a clear understanding of military culture, the substitute requires at least 6 members have senior military experience, either retired or separated honorably in the grades of E7 and above on the enlisted side, or O5 and above on the officer side. This ensures meaningful military representation while maintaining balanced civilian oversight. This is about balance, alignment, ensuring that the governance supports continued progress. Again, there is still much work to be done at VMI. Progress has been made, but sustained improvement requires structural stability. Adjusting the board composition now ensures that the Institute can continue to build on its strength, honor its mission, and continue to move forward and flourish in the years ahead. Chair and committee members, I respectfully ask that you report the substitute and forward and vote favorably for HB 1374.
Thank you, Delegate. As this bill has had a full hearing in subcommittee, we'll ask only for the Lieutenant General to come forward and offer any thoughts that he has on the measure that is before us.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Lieutenant General Dave Furness. I'm the superintendent of VMI. I'd like to thank Delegate Fagans for the time that he committed for the visit on Sunday. I thought the visit was very well. We enjoyed having it on post, and I offer the same to each and every one of you. You're always welcome to come to Lexington, kick the tires, and see what your hard-earned tax dollars are actually doing in Lexington. I stand in support of the bill. We've made significant adjustments to it in this amendment phase, and I look forward to working with the new board structure as we move ahead. My predecessor, General Wins, made significant progress, and I intend to continue that progress going forward. You have my word on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant General. We appreciate your work and working together, your visit, and now that we've brought it to a good place. The bill has had a full hearing, and now we're back before the committee. Now that we're back before the committee, Delegate Zaire, do you have a question?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Question for the patron.
Delegate Zaire.
Thank you. Wondering how VCU's board would develop the specialized expertise necessary to...
Delegate Zaire, please, the substitute does not do that. We're going to go to Delegate Simons.
Move to report.
On the substitute, motion been made and properly seconded to report the substitute. The clerk shall open the roll. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports the substitute, 12-5. Thank you so much for your good work, Delegate.
Thank you, Chair and committee members.
Thank you. Now we will turn the committee's attention to a subcommittee report. First, we will hear from Delegate Simons on her subcommittee report. Delegate Simons.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First up, we have HB 178 from Delegate Anthony, and I move the committee substitute.
Delegate Simons, we're going to indulge the patron has a new substitute that she would like to very briefly just speak to very quickly. Please come forward. The substitute, so let's have a motion on the new substitute. Motion
Second.
made and properly seconded. New substitute without objection is before us. Delegate Anthony.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee.
This changes to the new substitute, please.
This is the new substitute. So over the past several weeks, we've had deliberate conversations with the Department of Education, Richmond Public Schools, nonprofit partners who provide direct services to students experiencing housing instability and placement. And so we just wanted to make sure that we do the right thing with this legislation. The Senate cognate right now, SB 190, has passed out, sailed out beautifully before these iterations, but is sitting in Senate Finance and Appropriations. And so we want to make sure that there's continuity of education services for students, including housing stabilization, tutoring, mentoring, and case management. And we want to make sure that there is secure and lawful exchange of student personal information. And so this substitute preserves the core protections of that bill with explicit FERPA compliance, informed parental consent, comprehensive data security, a prohibition on targeted advertising, clear limits on data retention and immediate breach. And so the earlier version included a certification and registry structure that signal potential fiscal implications. And so that is why the Senate cognate is in Senate Finance and Appropriations. This substitute takes a phased approach. Rather than creating a new administrative framework immediately, and particularly during the transition of the new DOE administration, we established standardized memorandums of understanding between school boards and nonprofit partners. And we directed the department only to develop that model MOU, provide security guidance, and convene a stakeholder work group to report back in 2026. We want to thank Richmond Public Schools, who is the king of MOUs right now and who helped us to sequence this particular substitute. We are trying to sequence this responsibly, and we are protecting student data while ensuring vulnerable students do not experience disruption in education services. These guardrails, don't have unnecessary bureaucracy. This provides us with a durable foundation for next steps in next years.
Thank you.
So
Delegate
that is the explanation of the new substitute. The Senate is a very good place once we
Thank you.
align ourselves, and we hope the House does the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. The substitute's been adopted. Do we have a motion on the bill as substituted?
So moved. Second.
Motion made and properly seconded to report as substituted. House Bill 178 from Delegate Anthony. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports with substitute 13-5. Thank you, Delegate.
Thank you.
Delegate Simons.
HB 253 from Delegate Glass enters the Commonwealth into the Interstate Teacher Mobility Compact, the purpose of which is to facilitate the mobility of teachers across member states. The subcommittee recommends reporting on a vote of 10-0, and I so move.
Motion made and properly seconded to report House Bill 253. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk should close the roll. Bill reports 18-0. Delegate Simons.
Mr. Chair, I move the committee substitute.
Motion's been made and properly seconded for the substitute to House Bill 298, which is before us. All those in favor of adopting the substitute signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, Substitute is before us. Delegate Simons.
HB 298 from Delegate McQuinn prohibits any public elementary or secondary school from being suspended, expelled, or excluded from attendance unless the school first considers at least one evidence-based restorative disciplinary practice. The committee recommends reporting with substitute on a vote of 7-3, and I so move.
Motion is made and properly seconded to report with substitute. This would need to be re-referred to appropriations.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I amend my motion to report with substitute and refer to appropriations.
Motion made and properly seconded to report and refer to appropriations. The substitute on House Bill 298. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports 14-4. Delegate Simons.
HB 473 from Delegate, HB 461 from Delegate Cohen. We have amendments and we have a new substitute. So I move the new substitute.
I'll ask council to just clarify, is it all in a new substitute or is it a substitute with amendments?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is a new substitute that's posted on LIS.
Okay, so motion on the substitute's been made by Delegate Simons. Do I hear a second? Second. Without objection, the substitute is adopted. 461, Delegate Simons.
HB 461 prohibits any student with a disability in grades kindergarten through 6 from being placed in any educational setting in which the maximum age range exceeds 4 years unless the student's individualized education program team determines that an exception is appropriate. The subcommittee recommends reporting on a vote of 9-1 with the substitute, and I so move.
Motion made and properly seconded to report with substitute House Bill 461. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports with substitute 15-3. Delegate Simons.
HB 473 from Delegate Converse Fowler has committee amendments. I move the committee amendments.
Motion's been made and properly seconded. Without objection, the amendments are adopted.
Mr. Chair, I'm going to ask council to tell us about the new committee amendments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So in between subcommittee and full committee, we just realized that one of the amendments that the patron intended to offer was not included in the set of subcommittee amendments, so that's now posted on LIS. All that amendment does is remove the Office of Children's Ombudsman from the provisions of the bill.
Given that, this bill makes several revisions and updates to the special education dispute resolution system, services, and resources in the Commonwealth. And the subcommittee recommends reporting and referring to appropriations with amendments on a vote of 10-0. And I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded to report and refer to appropriations with amendments. House Bill 473. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports and refers to appropriations with amendments 18-0. Delegate Simons.
HB 495 from Delegate Guzman requires each school bus driver employee on a full-time basis to complete mental health awareness training at least once.
Okay, so we've got a new substitute. If I could ask council to just mention the new substitute, the changes to that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The new substitute's posted. It would make the training of full-time school bus drivers permissive, and it also directs DBHDS to consider condensing and abbreviating the existing mental health first aid training program into a 2-hour module that the school boards could use to train the full-time school bus drivers.
Mr. Chair, the subcommittee recommended reporting on a vote of 7 to 3, and I so move.
So first motion is on the new substitute that is before the committee. All those in favor of adopting that new substitute signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, so now motion on the new substitute, 495.
Mr. Chair, I move that we report the substitute.
Motion's been made and properly seconded to report with a new substitute on House Bill 495. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports 13 to 5 with new substitute. If I could ask, I'll ask Delegate Simons to just pause for just a moment as we have quite a few more bills to go through. We have Delegate Austin, who's here to present his bill before full committee, which has been heard previously before committee was re-referred back to the House Committee on Education, and here we are. So House Bill 786, Delegate Austin, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, morning, members of the committee. I do have before you HB 786, and the intent of this is to ban high carbonated drinks from being distributed or sold in school vending machines. It is permissive. The language allows it to be permissive by the school boards to make the determination. Mr. Chairman, I think the bill's before you. We've heard it. Anything else the committee would like to know, I'd be happy to discuss.
So thank you, Delegate Austin. The bill that is before us is the original bill, not the substitute that was adopted. Do we have questions on the original bill as it had a full and fair hearing? If there are individuals who would like to speak against the bill as the original bill, feel free to come forward. If not, the committee acts by motion.
Move to report.
Motion's been made and properly seconded to report House Bill 786, the original bill. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. 13 yeses and 5 who love a lot of caffeine. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee.
Thank you. We will turn back to Chair Simons as she continues her report.
I believe next up we have HB 497 from Delegate Guzman. We had a substitute, and I move the substitute.
Motion's been made and properly seconded. Without objection, substitute's adopted.
HB 497 requires each division superintendent to annually collect, summarize, and post information on IEP disputes. The bill also requires each such posting or presentation to comply with the Federal Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. The subcommittee recommends reporting with substitute on a vote of 8 to 2, and I so move.
Motion's been made and properly seconded to report with substitute House Bill 497. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports with substitute 14 to 3. Delegate Simons.
Next up, HB 613 from Delegate Cohen directs the Department of Education in coordination with the Virginia Association of School Superintendents to establish and administer the Teacher Recruitment and Retention Mentorship Pilot Program. The subcommittee recommends reporting and referring to appropriations on a vote of 9 to 1, and I so move.
Motion made and properly seconded to report and refer to appropriations, House Bill 613. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports and refers 14 to 3. Delegate Simons.
Next up, we have HB 614 from Chair Rasool. This bill does have a substitute, and I move the substitute.
Without objection, the substitute's adopted.
HB 614 requires the Commission on Civic Education to review and make recommendations on the inclusion in the History and Social Science Standards of Learning and Curriculum Framework and any associated instructional guides about the contributions, perspectives, and experiences of historically marginalized community, and it includes findings and recommendations in its annual report. The subcommittee recommends reporting with substitute on a vote of 7-3, and I so move.
Motion has been made and properly seconded to report with substitute House Bill 614. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports with substitute 12-4. Delegate Simons.
HB 686 from Delegate Zaire has a substitute, and I so move.
Without objection, substitutes adopted.
HB 686 requires the Department of Education to develop and make available to each school board guidance on best practices relating to open school enrollment. The subcommittee recommended reporting with substitute on a vote of 10-0, and I so move.
Second.
Motion has been made and properly seconded to report with substitute House Bill 686. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports 15-2. Delegate Simons.
Next, HB 836 from Chair Rasool also has a substitute, and I so move.
A motion has been made and properly seconded. Without objection, substitutes adopted.
HB 836 prohibits any child in the Commonwealth from being denied a free public education through secondary school on the basis of the actual or perceived immigration or citizenship status of the child. The committee recommends reporting with substitute on a vote of 7-3, and I so move.
Second.
Motion has been made and properly seconded to report with substitute House Bill 836. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports a substitute 13-5. Delegate Simons.
Next up, we have HB 894 from Delegate Sullivan. I move the committee substitute.
Motion's been made and properly seconded. Without objection, substitutes before us.
HB 894 requires each principal of each private school to include in such schools codes of student conduct, policies and procedures for addressing and handling instances of bullying and cyberbullying, and a prohibition against bullying and cyberbullying. The subcommittee recommends reporting with substitute on a vote of 10-0, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is made and properly seconded to report with substitute House Bill 894. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports 15-2. Delegate Simons.
HB 913 from Delegate Lopez requires the superintendent of public instruction to reverse all actions previously taken by the superintendent of public instruction on or after January 15, 2022, pursuant to the then current governor's Executive Order 1 of January 15, 2022. The subcommittee recommends reporting on a vote of 7-3, and I so move.
Motion made and properly seconded to report House Bill 913. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports 13-4. Delegate Simons.
HB 1229 from Delegate Scott had a substitute which requires many of these actions, but in the form of a memo to remind school systems of these regulations. So I move the committee substitute.
Without objection, substitutes adopted.
HB 1229 requires the Department of Education to provide each local school board resources regarding the use of seclusion and restraint in public, elementary, and secondary schools. The subcommittee recommended reporting with substitute on a vote of 10-0, and I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded to report House Bill 1229. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports with substitute 19-0. Delegate Simons.
Next up, we had HB 1243 from Delegate O'Quinn. I move the committee amendments.
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded to adopt the amendments to 1243. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the amendments are adopted.
HB 1243 directs the Board of Education in its calculation of the passage rate for standards of learning assessment or the level of achievement of the standards of learning objectives for an individual student growth assessment for the purposes of state accountability ratings to include for any student who retakes an assessment on an expedited basis and receives a passing score, the passing score shall count toward the school division. The subcommittee recommended reporting with amendments on a vote of 10-0, and I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded to report with amendments, House Bill 1243. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports 19-0. Delegate Simons.
HB 1283 from Delegate McLaughlin provides that in the event that the Board of Education establishes or modifies graduation requirements, that those requirements would apply to the entire class as they move through school. The subcommittee recommended reporting on a vote of with substitute on a vote of 10-0. I guess I need to first move the committee substitute, Mr. Chair.
Without objection, the substitute's adopted.
The subcommittee recommended reporting with substitute on a vote of 10-0, and I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded to report with substitute House Bill 1283. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports with substitute 18-1. Delegate Simons.
Next up, HB 1301 from Delegate Thomas deals with student diabetes medical care. And we did have a substitute on this. Do we need to adopt the substitute, Mr. Chair?
Motion's been made on the substitute, properly seconded. Without objection, the substitute's adopted.
HB 1301 establishes several provisions relating to student diabetes medical care and management in public elementary and secondary schools in the Commonwealth, including requiring division-wide plans in each school division. The subcommittee recommends reporting on a vote of 10-0 with substitute, and I so move.
Second.
Oh, and we have a speaker's letter. This is to be reported with substitute and referred to appropriations.
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded to report with substitute and refer to appropriations. House Bill 1301. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. 19-0. Delegate Simons.
HB 1345 from Delegate Navarre adds several items that are required to be included in the industry-recognized uniform inspection and evaluation of the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system that is required at least every 4 years for each public elementary and secondary school building, including a measurement of radon levels in the air and testing for moisture. The subcommittee recommended reporting and referring to appropriations, but I see that now it's just reporting and referring. on a vote of 7-3.
Yeah, with an amendment of a one-year delayed enactment, we do not have to refer to appropriations. Do I have a motion to adopt this additional amendment?
So moved.
Motion's been made and properly seconded. On the amendment for a one-year delayed enactment, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The bill is amended. House Bill 1345 can be simply reported.
Okay. I move reporting the bill on a vote of 7-3 in subcommittee. So moved.
Motion made and properly seconded to report with amendment House Bill 1345. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports with amendments 13-6. Delegate Simons.
Next up, we have HB 1352 from Delegate Cohen. This bill requires the driver education program established by the Board of Education to emphasize the dangers of reckless driving, including driving at excessive speeds, among other topics. The subcommittee recommends reporting on a vote of 10-0, and I so move.
Motion's been made and properly seconded to report 10-0, that reported 10-0, House Bill 1352. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports 18-1. Delegate Simons.
HB 1373 from Delegate Carroll has a committee substitute. I move the committee substitute.
Motion's been made and properly seconded on the substitute for 1373. Without objection, it's adopted.
HB 1373 requires the Department of Education, in collaboration with each school board in Planning District 16, to assess the feasibility of establishing a regional public day school in Planning District 16. The subcommittee recommends reporting and referring to appropriations with substitute on a vote of 9-1, and I so move.
Motion's been made and properly seconded to report with substitute and refer to appropriations. House Bill 1373. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports 15-4. Delegate Simons.
HB 1383 from Delegate Oates permits any individual seeking a technical professional license to complete any required coursework and curriculum and instruction at any comprehensive community college in the Commonwealth that offers such coursework, regardless of whether such coursework is offered on a 4-credit basis or as part of a non-credit workforce credential. The subcommittee recommends reporting on a vote of 10-0, and I so move.
Motion's been made and properly seconded to report House Bill 1383. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports 20-0. Delegate Simons.
HB 1387 from Delegate Cherry requires the Board of Education to automatically revoke the teaching license of a license holder upon receiving a record of the license holder conviction of a felony and order to register under the Sex Offender and Crimes Against Minors Registry Act. The subcommittee recommended reporting and referring to the courts of justice on a vote of 10-0, and I so move.
Second.
The referral gods have come down and spoken. And so we do not need to send this to courts of justice. You can simply amend your motion to report House Bill 1387.
All right, I move that we report HB 1387.
Motion been made and properly seconded to report House Bill 1387. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports 19-0. Delegate Simons.
HB 1446 from Delegate Sewell directs local school divisions to require school nurses to complete within 6 months of employment and at least every 3 years after an online or in-person course of instruction approved by the board in collaboration with the Department of Health regarding recognition and management of sickle cell disease. The subcommittee recommends reporting and referring to appropriations on a vote of 10-0, and I so move.
Motion's been made and properly seconded to report House Bill 1446 and refer to appropriations. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports 20-0. Delegate Simons.
HB 1455 from Delegate McNamara extends from no earlier than 14 days before Labor Day to no earlier than 14 days before September 1st of each year the requirement relating to the earliest date that each school board is permitted to schedule as the first day on which students are required to attend school. The subcommittee recommends reporting on a vote of 10-0, and I so move.
Motion been made and properly seconded to report House Bill 1455. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports 20-0. Delegate Simons.
Finally, we have HB 1503 from Delegate Hayes. It directs local school divisions to require all high school athletic coaches to complete prior to coaching any sport and at least every 2 years thereafter an online or in-person course of instruction regarding sickle cell trait approved by the Board of Education in collaboration with the Department of Health. The subcommittee recommends reporting with substitute on a vote of 10-0, and I so move. Actually, I move the substitute.
Motion's been made on the substitute and seconded. Without objection, it's before us.
The subcommittee recommends reporting with substitute on a vote of 10-0, and I so move.
Motion made and properly seconded to report with substitute House Bill 1503. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports with substitute 17-2. Chair Simons, does that complete your?
That concludes my report.
Completes that report, right? Okay, then we'll go to Chair Sewell with her Higher Education Subcommittee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First, we have House Bill 56, patroned by Delegate Fagans. I move the subcommittee substitute.
Motion made and proper seconded. Without objection, substitutes adopted.
House Bill 56 requires the Department of Veteran Services to study the expansion of the Virginia Military Survivors Independence Education Program. The subcommittee recommends reporting and referring to rules with a substitute on a vote of 9-0 to 1. And I so move.
Motion has been made and properly seconded to report and refer to rules. House Bill 56. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports and refers 19-0. Delegate Sewell.
Next, we have House Bill 430, patroned by Delegate LaVere Bowling. I move the subcommittee substitute.
Motion's been made and properly seconded. Without objection, it's adopted.
House Bill 430 renames New College Institute as the West Piedmont Higher Education Center and makes several revisions to the membership requirements for the Board of Directors for the center. The subcommittee recommends reporting and referring to appropriations with substitute on a vote of 9-1, and I so move.
Second.
Motion made and properly seconded to report with substitute. House Bill 430. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports 17-3 and refers to appropriations. Delegate
House Bill
Sewell.
971, patroned by Delegate Price, prohibits any private institution of higher education, associate degree granting public institute of higher education, or baccalaureate public institution of higher education in the Commonwealth from disclosing to any individual or entity outside of the institution any enrolled student athlete's biometric data without prior written consent of the student athlete. The bill also prohibits any individual or entity from making the possession, use, or ownership of the rights to any student athlete's biometric data condition of any contract with the student athlete for the use of the student athlete's name, image, or likeness. The subcommittee recommends reporting on a vote of 6-3, and I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded to report House Bill 971. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports 18-1 to 1. Delegate Sewell.
House Bill 1378, patroned by Delegate Wiley, authorizes the State Board of Community Colleges to require real property located adjacent to the Laurel Ridge Community College campus to be purchased. The subcommittee recommends reporting and referring to appropriations on a vote of 8-1, and I so move.
Second.
Motion made and properly seconded to report and refer to appropriations. House Bill 1378. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports 20-0.
House Bill 1385, patroned by Delegate Franklin. I move the subcommittee substitute.
Motion is made and properly seconded to report the substitute, to adopt the substitute. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Substitute is before us.
House Bill 1385, as substituted, amends the membership of the Virginia Commission on Higher Education Board appointments, and the bill also establishes provisions relating to the appointment, confirmation, and oath of members of governing boards of public institutions of higher education and quorum requirements for and duties of such governing boards. The subcommittee recommends reporting with substitute on a vote of 7-3, and I so move.
Motion's been made and properly seconded to report with substitute House Bill 1385. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports with substitute 13-6. Delegate Sewell, that completes your report.
This completes the report as I have before me.
All right, thank you, Delegate Sewell. I think the last couple measures are a couple of bills that I have here. And while we wait on Vice Chair Simons to come back so I can present the bills, we'll go at ease for just a moment. She'll be right back. We'll go at ease. The House Committee on Education will come back to order. We have a new substitute for House Bill 502 by Delegate McAuliffe. Move the substitute. Motion has been made and properly seconded. On the substitute, I will have council just briefly mention, since this is a substitute, not the original version, briefly report. The delegate is here. Delegate, if you want to come up and explain your substitute, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Thank you for having me down here today. The substitute simply takes a different approach to the same problem that we discussed in the Higher Education Subcommittee, which is how best to deal with the affordability around continued tuition increases that have hit Virginians every single year. The goal is to make sure we have a place for parents to go to understand what they're going to have to pay. So this bill simply takes that concept, puts it in a study, and says, let's go figure out what the impact would be, whether it would work, whether it would not work, and give parents a little bit more certainty as we try to deal with college affordability.
Well, thank you for your good work, Delegate McAuliffe. All those in favor of the substitute signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? And do we have a motion to report the substitute to House Bill 502? So moved. Motion's been made and properly seconded to report House Bill 502. Members, please cast your vote. Clerk shall close the roll. Bill reports with substitute 20-0. Thank you, Delegate.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members of the committee.
And now we'll move it down to our Vice Chair, as we have two bills to report on. So first, Madam Chair, we have House Bill 92 that we'll take up.
Good morning. House Bill 92 from Delegate Rasool is before us. Would you like to present your bill?
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have a substitute to House Bill 92.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Without objection, the substitute is before us.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What we are doing here is ensuring that we're codifying some really good practices that we funded in the last biennium with regards to having flexible spending around at-risk students, also English language learners. We saw the landmark JLARC study, which came out in the summer of 2023. We were able to pass a number of these measures in previous bills that didn't quite get to the finish line. But fortunately, we were funding this all along the way. Now we're codifying and saying, look, at-risk shouldn't just be an add-on. We should be thinking about it more holistically, especially on a per-pupil basis. And so we're looking forward to continuing to move this forward. This is pretty much the same as what we've seen in years past, but there'll be some additional reporting requirements that we're asking of DOE. So I hope it'll be the pleasure of the committee to act favorably on House Bill 92.
I believe this is the first time we're hearing this bill, so we will take some testimony. If you would like to line up to speak in favor of the bill, please come on down. But first, we will go to members of the committee. Do we have any questions from members of the committee? All right, seeing none, come on up.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Levi Gorn with the Commonwealth Institute. This, as substitute, is good legislation that codifies the funding for students from low-income families as well as students with disabilities into the main funding formula. This is good because we know funding matters most for students facing the highest barriers, and that's where it makes the most difference in raising test scores and student outcomes. So thank you for this legislation, and I hope you pass it. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Smith.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, Councilman Superintendent Association, this has been one of our highest priorities for a number of years. So we're very appreciative of the substitute and thank the patron for bringing it.
Thank you.
Chad Stewart with the Virginia Education Association. We also strongly support this bill. Schools now very much rely on at-risk add-on dollars. They've become foundational to all of their budgeting, and codifying it makes very good sense for perpetuity.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Katie Ricard, and I have the pleasure of serving as the 2nd District School Board Representative for the City of Richmond. I'm speaking in favor of this bill. I recently attended one of our local elementary schools as a volunteer literacy tutor. In the course of 45 minutes, I observed a literacy coach pull out 3 students for extra help, a behavior specialist to come help a student who was having difficulty regulating, a new student whose native language was Spanish and will certainly need additional support, and I was working with students who read above grade level. All this in 45 minutes in one classroom. Our students are coming to us with unique needs, and our schools need more help with wraparound supports. Please vote yes and support all our students so they can reach their full potential. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee, Dr. Liz Niagara with Voices for Virginia's Children, also a member of the Fund Our Schools Coalition. Currently, the Education Law Center estimates that Virginia gets a C in terms of its ranking for funding equity. We think this bill is a step in the right direction to amend the flat funding within our state and urge you to pass this bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee. My name is Chloe Edwards. I'm the Policy Director at New Virginia Majority. We serve working class people of color across the urban crescent of Virginia, and this would just ensure that all children have access to equitable funding, regardless of their race, ethnicity, national origin, or geography. Thank you, and I hope you pass the bill.
Hi, representing the League of Women Voters of Virginia and an RPS parent. Everything she just said.
Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Mike Asap with the Virginia Council of Administrators of Special Education. I'm here with Virginia Division of Career Development and Transition folks who are here with us, who fully support the add-on funding for our students with disabilities. As the JLARC report showed, Virginia is $500 million behind in its per annum spending for our children with disabilities. This goes in that direction. We appreciate the delegates' support
Mike,
of this bill.
are you saying that these folks are here with your group?
With their,
Oh,
yes,
can you
yes.
all please stand? Welcome. Thanks for being here today and supporting the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
I have other bills I need help with.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Jeremy Bennett, representing the Virginia Association of Counties. I want to thank Mr. Uberchair for his and this committee's work on advancing the JLARC recommendation. VACO supports additional state investment in education and is appreciative of any efforts to achieve that. So thank you.
Is there anyone here wishing to speak in opposition to the bill? Seeing none, we will move online. Those of you online, please turn on your cameras and keep your comments to less than 30 seconds. We will start with Mr. Siebert.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, Alan Siebert, Roanoke City Public Schools. Our board has a formal position devoted to supporting all students. We thank Delegate Rasool for his ongoing leadership in implementing the sound recommendations of the JLARC study, including this bill. Please support. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we are back before the committee. Do we have any questions or comments from members of the committee? Hearing none, this committee operates by motion.
Move to report as substituted.
It's been moved to report as substituted, properly seconded. Madam Clerk, you may open the roll. You may close the roll. That bill reports 18-1. We have one more bill, I believe, from Chair Rasool.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If I can call the committee's attention to House Bill 1186. House Bill 1186, we are very concerned, Madam Chair, about the rapid advancement of artificial intelligence in the context of what that means for our children in two ways. One is their safety, and two is their cognitive development. What we have found is that objective studies show now that with the advancements in artificial intelligence, that the cognitive development of secondary age students, those in high school, for example, has seen a decline because of an over-reliance on that. But this bill hits the second part, which is around the safety of our children. We have found that 1 in every 3 teens has had some type of emotional interaction with artificial intelligence. And what this bill, the original bill, meant to do is put some guardrails around the implementation of the use of chatbots specifically in the educational setting. There's a substitute that is before us, and what the substitute does is ensure that while we understand what happens with the executive order that has just come out from the executive branch at the federal level, that we gather some data on the use of artificial intelligence. I think that there are people on both sides of the aisle who are genuinely interested and concerned about this, and we hope that it doesn't need to be, in particular, a partisan conversation. We just want to make sure that we try to get ahead of this because we know the technology is moving much faster than we have. So with that, Madam Chair, I have a substitute for you to consider.
Without objection, the substitute is before us. Would you like to explain the substitute, or shall I have counsel?
The substitute simply has the department collect from each school division the kind of use of these artificial intelligence systems. And so that way we can at least gather the data and have that, and we know what's being used. And then because the executive order is rather new, we also know that there are a number of Republican and Democratic states who are interested in what they can do as states and putting up the guardrails. There is an exception in the executive order for child safety. We just don't know what that means exactly. And so we hope to explore that in the coming year, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Do we have anyone who would like to speak in favor of this bill? All right, come on up.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank the Uber Chair for this bill and for the substitute. Steve Marker with Arlington Public Schools. AI is rapidly evolving, and I think this takes a great approach to trying to figure out just exactly what all different school divisions are doing so we can collect that and figure out how best to tackle this in years to come. Arlington Public Schools has been a leader in both putting restrictions on and finding productive ways for students to use AI, and so happy to work with both the Uber Chair and anyone throughout the state on development of AI in schools throughout Virginia. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone in person opposed? Moving online, do we have any online testimony? All right, Dr. Siebert, go right ahead.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, we again thank Doug Rasool for his leadership, and we think this thoughtful approach. Roanoke City Public Schools is a leader in working on these topics. We've hosted many forums on this topic. As the General Assembly moves forward, we would ask you to do kind of what you've done with data privacy, and that is, as changes are implemented, please put the pressure on the vendors to comply with the directions that come in the future. So again, we look forward to this work unfolding, and we hope that when it moves forward, the burden will be on the vendors and not on individual school divisions to implement any recommendations that come from the study. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving back to the committee, Delegate Cherry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Maybe a suggestion for the patron. It's not intended to do any harm, but perhaps in addition to what we're doing with this, a letter to JCOTS that also does a lot of this AI stuff and around this, and have JCOTS at the same time look at where the technology is going, where the technology advancements are going to be, and how that's going to intersect with what's going on. So DOE to look at what schools are actually doing, and JCOTS to look at what may be coming down the road that we may need to foresee before it actually gets here. Just a suggestion, Mr. Chairman.
Madam Chair, I would respond to the delegate.
Chair Rasool.
That's a good suggestion. We'll continue having those conversations with the leadership at JCOTS.
All right, this committee operates by motion.
Move to report. As substituted. As substitute.
It's been moved to report as substituted and properly seconded. Madam Clerk, you may open the roll. You may close the roll. That bill reports 19-0. Handing it back over to Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Madam Vice Chair, members of the committee. I believe that completes the committee's work before crossover. So we have, as the second busiest committee in the General Assembly, heard a lot of bills, done a lot of great work. The subcommittees have been well run. Both the chairs of K-12, higher ed, and our early childhood innovation chairs have done a great job. Thank you to the members for, we've largely kept really good decorum. We've heard every bill that wanted to be heard, and we've got, I think, some good work to be done. I imagine that we will be meeting the day after crossover, Wednesday. We will be convening to hear some bills from the other side. So keep a lookout for that. With that, Delegate Simons.
Move to adjourn.
Motion's been made and seconded. Without objection, we stand adjourned.